I hope you're doing fine. In this video, we'll talk about some grammar. So we'll explain the infinitive, the two forms of the infinitive, and when do we use the forms of the infinitive. So let's dive in. The infinitive is known as the base form of a verb, which means a verb without additions. For example, the S of the third person singular. For example, he plays. ED of the simple past. He played. The ing of the continuous. He is playing. So the infinitive, we take off all the markers or additions and keep the verb in its original form. Now, let's talk about the two forms of the infinitive. The infinitive has two forms. The to infinitive, which is the infinitive with to, and the bare infinitive, which is infinitive without to. Let's talk about these forms in details. The to infinitive is like to be, to help, to need, to finish, to sing, to drive. Let's see an example. To be a special comedian, you need talent and a strong ego. To be a special comedian, you need talent and a strong ego. As for the bare infinitive, it is like be, help, need, finish, sing, drive. As you see, we have taken off the to. We have taken off the to. Let's see an example. Let's have a discussion. Let's have a discussion. Now let's move on to the core of this lesson. Let's answer the question, when do we use the to infinitive and when do we use the bare infinitive? This is the most important part of this video. Now, let's get to the to infinitive. We use the to infinitive after a main verb, which means that the sentence has two or more verbs, and the first verb is the one conjugated, and the second verb is put in the infinitive. For example, I want to swim. I want to swim. Want is the main verb of this sentence. It is the first verb. To win is the second verb. So it is put in the to infinitive. Try to keep calm. Try is the main verb. To keep is the second verb. So it is again put in the to infinitive. They seem to like my idea. Seem is also the main verb. To like is the second verb. Do we need to bring a packed lunch? The second use is that we use the to infinitive after certain adjectives. For example, Dave is likely to win. I am so glad to see you. Julie was afraid to cross the road. They were eager to hear the latest news. Also, the to infinitive is used after certain nouns. For example, I have no desire to be famous. We have several problems to discuss. Jim's decision to retire surprised everyone. We need time to think. The last use is after WH words. WH words are what, why, where, when, who, and how. So let's look at some examples. Aya asks Adam where to put the books. Tell me when to stop. I didn't know what to do. Teach me how to drive, please. Now let's get to the bare infinitive. The first use of the bare infinitive is after a primary auxiliary verb. Primary auxiliary verbs are to be, to do, to have. But we use the to infinitive with the primary auxiliary verb do. For example, do you know Sam? It does not work. I didn't know him. Don't you have work to do? The second use is that we use the bare infinitive after modal verbs. Modal verbs are can, could, shall, should, will, would, may, might, must, have to, etc. So many. So we use the bare infinitive after modal verbs. For example, can you swim? It might rain later. I must go home now. Could you help me with my homework? The next use is that we use the bare infinitive after the verbs let and make, but to mean causing or forcing something. For example, just let me think. Mom made me confess the truth. Let him go. She made me laugh. We use it also after some sensing verbs. For example, I saw her cross the street. We felt the ground shake. We heard him speak. This is all about the infinitive. Wait for the next video, which is about gerund, and thanks for watching.